Hello, welcome to the channel. My name's Angela and I'm the Inquisitive Farm Wife. Super excited that you're here with me today. I'm participating in a fun collaboration. It's called Angler April. I was a part of that last year, and somewhere I'll post a link to that video where you get to see a little bit more about my family farm, where we have a pond. You get to see the history behind it. You get to meet some of my family. It was just a fun time. Now this year we haven't had the opportunity to go out fishing. So what I did is my son had some fish in the freezer. Don't ask me what kind it is because I'm not going to be able to tell you. But it is fish and we're going to fix it. And then we're going to eat it. So thank you for Dale and Nana for inviting me to be part of Angler April. If you haven't already been watching and seeing all of the amazing recipes that were before me, then I suggest that you go over and check out that playlist. If I can, I'll also link it below. So when my kids were smaller and I ran a daycare, I used to go to a bulk food big box store and I used to get Parmesan encrusted tilapia, and I loved it. And I love to do like a Parmesan spin on chicken too, but we're gonna try to do this to the mystery fish today and see if it tastes as good as the stuff I used to get from the store. So I'm gonna grab my apron and I'll meet you back on the kitchen counter where we put this together. First things first is I have a stack of bowls over here where I am going to be putting various parts to this recipe. I've got the fish that my son had cleaned and prepared. And now what I want to do is I'm just going to kind of pat it dry. I'm not a huge fish eater, if you remember that from last year too. But on occasion, I do like to have some fish. So I'm going to pat this dry and we'll set it in this bowl. And he may be, all worked up about how he filleted it or something, and no judgment on any of that stuff. We're just putting food on the table. I thought I would make up the whole batch while I was at it, whatever was in the bag, because then my son can have leftovers to take to work, and he's got about a week left of school. So these have been cleaned and rinsed, and now we're just patting them dry and putting them in the bowl. Looks like a nice fillet of fish to me, and I'm not feeling any bones at all in here. So I think this will be a perfect fish to use. Oops, I pushed a little too hard there. I'm going to sanitize this area here, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've grabbed myself another bowl and we'll go ahead and work on the dry topping. And I am not really going to measure today. I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. Maybe a half of this can of panko. We like panko. It gives such a good crust to it. And then I've got a bit of Parmesan cheese left that was in the bottom of the bag, and it's kind of crumbly and dry. And so we're going to put what was left in there. Maybe a half a cup. And then the seasonings are going to be pretty simple. We like parsley a lot. Pepper. And of course some salt. This is the coarse, crunchy Himalayan pink sea salt. I love this stuff. And I've got this giant serving fork that I'm just going to kind of mix this all together with. And I am looking at all that fish, and I'm wondering if maybe we're going to need more breading than this. So I happen to have some plain breadcrumbs. And I think that might kind of stick in the places that the panko might not. So we're gonna add just a little bit of that in here. That looks tasty to me. Okay. And lastly, we'll work on the wet ingredients. I'm going to share something with you. This is a goose egg. So I recently used a goose egg in one of my videos, and I was under the impression that they were 3 up to 4 times a chicken egg, depending on the size of chicken egg that you use. Well, I had one of you lovelies tell me that you've been experimenting and it's more like 2 chicken eggs. And so, you know, do your own research and do your own judgment. I love hearing from you guys and your experiences. This is a duck egg, and in comparison to me, this looks more like 2 duck eggs, which a duck egg is supposed to be equal to 1.5 chicken eggs. So to me, that would be 3 chicken eggs. But use your judgment and do what you think. And, you know, to me, it doesn't have to be exact when I do things. But if you're watching, you know, wanting to know exactly the recipe and counting calories, you know, 2 to 3 eggs. And so here it is. This is amazing, you guys. This is huge. Look at the size of this goose egg. I mean, look at that shell in comparison to my hand. Isn't that incredible? And to this, I want to add just a little bit of milk. Just a splash. This, of course, is my farm fresh milk. We'll add a little bit of pepper because you want to season in every step. And some table salt. Got myself a flat whisk. And I'm just going to break this up. And we're going to whisk this all together. I love these bowls because they are flat enough that I can use them for breading. I use them for all kinds of things, but I thought today they would work perfect for the breading. I do have a review on them if you're curious about them, but just letting you know for that reason only. But I don't have like proper breading trays, and so this works for me. Do what works for you. Good. Sometimes the whites, you gotta really, you know, persuade them. I actually got to catch my goose laying an egg this morning. That was really cool. Usually they're pretty sneaky and they hide and don't let me know. Okay, let's put together this fish. So we're gonna have all these breadings. I have one more bowl set aside. So what I'll do here is I'm going to make an assembly line if I can. I don't know if you're going to be able to see all of it, so I'll maybe do it like this. See if you can see all. No, we need to go this way. Here we go. I think if you can make it in a line, it's probably better, but this is going to be okay. So I am going to grab a piece of fish. Remember, it's been dried. And so I'm going to soak it in the milk egg wash. And then kind of dry it off. Add it to the, oops, that wasn't supposed to do that. Add that to the panko mix, the breading. And I'll go ahead and get another one soaking. And I try to have a different utensil for each step. And I just want to coat this in here really well because I like lots of breading. What about you? Do you like putting breading on your fish? There, that stuck really well. Flip it over, make sure I'm getting it coated really well on this side. Whoop. Okay. And now that it's stuck, I'm going to put it in this pan. We'll do a couple of these together. Now you could actually, if you had caught this and done this fresh, you could bread this, lay it out on a sheet pan, and then freeze it already breaded like this to save yourself time. And that might be the way you would choose to do this. Now that we are in the season of fishing, oh, I have so many fond memories of going with my other grandparents on camping trips. And we would go to a somewhat local lake, and Grandpa and I would wake up really early in the morning, and we'd go out and we'd go fishing in the cool part of the day, because you know in the summer it gets so hot here in Kansas. And then we'd take afternoon naps, but Grandma would fix us the fish that we would catch. It was such a good time. That only took me a few minutes to get that breaded. And so, you know me, I'm a no-waste kitchen. I didn't show this part, but I like to throw the egg wash and the breading together. Sometimes I'll fry it up and make like a fritter out of it. And sometimes, like today, I turned it into a mash and one of the farm animals get it. So whether it be a treat for one of the watchdogs, the chickens, wherever it goes, nothing is ever wasted around here. But I'm ready to fry this up and give it a taste. Now, when you heard me say fry, did you know I was going to use my air fryer for this recipe? Well, I am. I thought putting this in the air fryer would not only be healthier, but it might be quicker too. So these are the last pieces to be breaded. They're probably not going to look the prettiest, but we'll go ahead and put those on our tray. I think I can get 2 pieces per tray. I've got some olive oil here. I just want to spray on the top. I'm going to flip that over. And I'm going to spray it again. Hopefully to get a nice, super crispy piece of fish. And we'll grab a couple more. And do the same thing. We're going to air fry, and we'll leave it at 400, but instead of 25 minutes, I'm going to turn it down to about 10 minutes because I have so many pieces of fish in here. And we'll air fry it at that temperature for that time, see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and flip the trays at the halfway mark. That's looking better already. Optionally, you can take and turn these over and then cook the other side for like 2 to 3 minutes. Or if you know that you're making more than you're going to eat in one setting, my suggestion to you is to stop at this point, and then when you go to reheat your fish, then you would just, put it back in the air fryer, so that it could crisp up and not get terribly overcooked. But I'm going to go ahead and flip this and cook this all up. Oops. So that we can see what it looks like. We'll go ahead and turn the air fryer back on. Again, change the time, and we're just gonna do like 3 minutes. Even though my grandma would have used this serving tray for deep fat frying fish, today we used it for air frying. Doesn't this look lovely? Oh, what a nice meal this is gonna make. Now my sister, she likes serving her fish with hush puppies. If you're interested in that, I am going to be making a hush puppy recipe using my Amish friendship starter. And that video will come out on Friday. Some other things that my family serves with fish is bread. And my grandpa always said that you did that because if a little piece of bone got stuck, that bread could help that kind of move on through. My grandma, the other side, the one that we are using this platter from, she always fried potatoes. The reason she did that was so that when she would deep fat fry those fish, she could use the potatoes to clean her oil, because back then they recycled and reused everything. If you are curious on how to make fried potatoes, I do have a blog about that. Did you know years ago I used to have a blog before I started YouTube? Yep, I found a way to bring that back, and there's a few of those old gems in the library of my blog, so I'll post that link for you too. I like to eat mine with coleslaw too. What's your favorite way to eat fish? This I'll probably serve with a slice of lemon. I hope that you enjoyed this recipe as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. And I'm so blessed that my son brought the fish home to me. You all have a good day. Thanks for being here. Until next time. Now, wait a minute. Did you really think that I'd end this video without a taste test? Come on. Okay, I will take a little flake. Ooh, it's flaking so nicely. Look at that. Oh, perfectly cooked. For not being a fish fan, I did pretty good.